So hello YouTube, welcome back to another weekly outlook series, and I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Guys, forgive me, I wasn't able to post outlooks in the previous 2 weekends. I was very busy with some, with trade and also the mentorship and another business that I've started within trading. So I'll update later on, but this actually, I didn't trade as much this week, but I had one trade which was a good one on USD, but it wasn't really those like the usual weeks that I have with a lot of big risk to reward ratio trades. But it was very good in general to see the markets the way it did. I mean, for me, I think this week and maybe last week, the markets have been, I don't know if it was just me, if you guys also had the same feeling. I mean, make sure to comment below, because for me, I felt like Euro USD was a little bit tricky. The intention wasn't clear. All of a sudden it started to push all the way up. We had spikes even when there was no news events around. But I mean, it's something that usually happens in the markets every single year. So it's nothing. We still have a lot of there's still so much to get from these markets in the weeks ahead. So nothing is lost. If you felt like February wasn't the month for you, do not worry. March is gonna be great. Okay, so I mean, without further ado, let's start the weekly outlook. I'm gonna look at it I'm gonna use the Euro USD here as we always do, and let's look at it from the monthly time frame. Let's understand the overall higher time frame intention. I see that some people still struggle a little bit with top-down analysis, right? As an intraday trader, you guys know I always say 4 hours is supposed to be your higher time frame, but there is no problem with you trying to decipher on a long term what is the overall intention on a pair. So if you look at Euro USD, what's going on right now is that we had this break of structure, mitigation, and then we have the second break of structure. Price comes to this supply zone situated around 50% fib zone, right? So price comes into that monthly supply zone. What I like to do is drop down to weekly, right? So time frame. So I want to see that confirmation on the weekly. We can see the price gave us a nice weekly change of character to the downside, and then it came back. So that's what we call return to order block. It came back to mitigate this order block that was responsible for breaking the previous structure low. So price comes back into that supply zone, and we start to have this nice reaction. So the intention that I have is, okay, price came to the weekly supply zone. We're expecting eventually for price to come and take out this previous weekly low, right? To maintain that overall bearish order flows. Even though, when we have a change of character, this is the first sign of bearish intention. So to maintain and confirm the bearish order flow, we will need to see price coming down and break this previous low. Right, so okay, price came into that weekly supply zone. We want to understand within this price action what's going on the daily and 4 hour. So we can come down to the daily time frame, and we can see that we had this nice change of character. So price comes to a weekly supply zone. We have this nice change of character on the daily. Price comes back into this nice supply zone. So this supply ended up refining a little bit to 4 hour time frame. So because I refined on 4 hour, so that means that when price comes into the order block, I can wait for the medium time frame, right? So now we're looking at it as an intraday trader. Is okay, we're on the 4 hour, price came to a 4 hour supply zone. What do I need next? I need my medium time frame. Medium time frame is M15, M20, or M30, right? These three time frames, that's our medium time frame. So high time frame as an intraday trader is going to be either daily / 4 hour, medium time frame M15, M20, M30, lower time frame M1, M2, M3, right? So very important to take those notes. So price comes to that 4 hour. What am I looking for now? I want to drop down to medium time frame. So let me go to M15. So here I am on M15. I can even use M20. It can be much clearer. So here we are on M20, right? And if we look at the structure, I think it's clear to see that the structure up to this point is bullish, right? And price came to a 4-hour supply zone. So what do I need in order for me to start looking for sales? I need to have at least an M15 change of care. So what I'm expecting for next week is I would like to see price coming down and taking this M15 structure right here to give you that M15 change of character to the downside. Then I'm going to, that's when I'll have the confirmation that, okay, 4-hour supply zone is holding, right? The bears are actually stepping into the market, so give us the M15 change of character to the downside. And then that's when I will go down to lower time frame. So up to this point, I'm not looking at anything in lower time frame. I want to see that M15 or M20 change of character to the downside for sales, and that's only when I'll drop down to lower time frame. Now let's say, for example, price ends up breaking this demand zone. It violates the demand zone and comes into this demand zone right here, right? This is like the M20's demand zone. What I'm gonna do is, let's say if price gives me a change of character, for example, or 2 breaks of structures, or even 3 breaks of structures, then I can look for bias, right? Because I'm seeing that this structure is, this demand zone is holding, but I'm not gonna hold buys all the way up. I may want to hold to somewhere here, right? I can see this week right here that came, that's when price rejected and started to push down. So maybe I can buy on lower time frames all the way to this, somewhere into the zone, to see, because sometimes price can come all the way down and then break, just confirm the overall bearish on the floor. Okay, so what am I waiting for on the medium time frame on Monday? Well, once the market opens, I'm waiting for a medium time frame structure shift. I want to see the M20 change of character to the downside so I can continue to sales. Now, if price happens to come to the demand zone, we can buy a little bit on lower time frames to somewhere into this area before price gives us the full, reveals their cards, right? That full, if we're going to continue bearish or continue bullish. Okay, so that's it for Euro USD. Let's move to the next pair. Now our next pair is going to be Aussie dollar. We can start also from the monthly time frame, just like we did on Euro USD. Let's understand the higher time frame, the higher time frame intention on this one. So looking at it from the monthly, we can see we had this low, high, so break of structure, mitigation, second break, mitigation. So we have a bearish order flow intact up to this point. So this is on the monthly. So the structure is bearish, the intention is bearish. We want to see price eventually coming down to take out this monthly previous low right here, right? So then we want to understand what's going on within this monthly range. Let's go to the weekly time frame. Let's understand Aussie dollar on the weekly time frame. So we look at the weekly structure, we see that everything is bearish, right? We had the break right here, mitigation, second break, price just came right here to the extremity of this supply zone, and now we're seeing price continue to push down. So okay, this is on the weekly. Let me drop down to the daily now, right? So you can see how we're doing the top-down analysis. It's very simple. So price now just gave us this change of character right here on the daily, and price returned to this weekly supply zone right here, right? So this actually was one of the last buys before the sell that went on to break this previous low. So price just came into this one, and we can see the reaction, right? How we came and rejected. We even have the doji right there. So I can drop down, for example, to 4 hour, or for example, like let me go to M30, for example, right? So I go to M30 and I want to read the structure right here. I see, okay, we had a break of structure previously right here. And we can see that price, okay, once price had broken structure, it came back, mitigated this demand zone, a point of interest there, right? So that was the mitigation. Then we can see, okay, we had the second break of structure right here. And then price came back to the extremity somewhere here at this demand zone. So if I ask you, this is the medium time frame M30, what is the structure up to this point? We can see that it's bullish. So we're gonna allow price to show us the cards. We're gonna allow price to give us that M15 or M30 change of character to the downside to show that this 4 hour or / daily supply zone is holding. So I'm gonna wait to see if price will either this demand, if this demand zone will either hold and start to push to the upside, or if it will give me the change of character. But up to this point, I'm not gonna do anything on lower time frames. Okay, so that's it for Aussie dollar. Let's move to the next pair. GU was also one of the not so clear pairs for me. These previous 2 weeks, GU for me wasn't really clear about it. I mean, the high time frame intention is clear, but once we went to 4 hour and the lower time frame, not so much was clear to me. But we can see here on the monthly, we read the structure, we have the break, mitigation, second break, mitigation, and then we have a break, price comes back into that supply zone. So once price comes to my monthly, just like we did on Euro USD on Aussie dollar, we drop down to weekly, right? So we're doing that top-down analysis. So we have change of character on the weekly, price comes back into this nice supply zone right here. So this actually ended up being a refinement because the whole candle is this one. So that means that we had first this reaction, but it failed to continue to push down. And now we have that push up. So we have like a refinement somewhere here. So price now came here and it's reacting at this zone, right? So we can drop down, for example, to daily / 4 hour, right? We can go to the 4 hour, for example. But if 4 hour is not clear, we can go back to the daily time frame. So we look at the daily and we say, okay, let me read the structure up to this point. So we can say, okay, we had the break. Price ended up coming all the way into this previous low to do the mitigation. And then we can see that we have this break of structure right here that happened at this particular point. Right, so we have a break of structure right here. So what is the point of interest? We have this nice demand zone. Last down candle before the up move. This is the demand zone that I'm looking at. Now, when you ask yourself, what is the daily structure up to this point? We can see that on GU, the daily structure is still bullish up to this point, right? Because we just had a break of the previous high. Now, what I'm expecting to see during the week is a pullback, right? I'm expecting to see some pullback at least towards this demand zone. Now, I'm not gonna wait all the time because for me, it can take a week for price to come back to the demand zone. So what I'm gonna do is say, okay, daily is bullish up to this point, and we want to ride the daily pullback. So what do I need to see first in order to ride that pullback? I can counter trend very safely, right? So what do I need to see, right, that will tell me that, okay, the daily is ready to do a pullback? I will need the hourly structure, right? I need the hourly to turn bearish. So I can come, for example, right here to 1 hour, and let me read the structure. Let me see what's going on this 1 hour structure. And I can see that, okay, we had a break of structure right here. So this was the break. And what is the demand zone? Okay, we have a demand zone right here, right? This was the demand zone. So that means that up to this point, we have this high, solidified low, and then this high. So I need to see a pullback. In order for me to start selling, I will need to see price breaking at least this low to give me the change of character to the downside. That can be a sign that, okay, daily is starting its pullback. And then I can write the sell. I can sell all the way down to that daily demand zone before we see if price is gonna either create the daily change of character or it's gonna continue all the way up, right? So that's simple as that. So that's it for GU. Let's move to the next. So Aussie, New Zealand dollar is going to be the next pair, and just like we did with EU, AU, and GU, we're gonna start from the monthly, right? Just to help all my YouTube viewers right there with top-down analysis. I know a lot of you guys struggle with top-down analysis. So just looking at the monthly, we can understand the overall intent. We just need the monthly to understand the overall higher time frame intention. I know a lot of you guys are scalpers and you guys don't need the monthly, but it's just to understand what's the overall intention. So we have a break of structure, mitigation, then break of structure, mitigation, price continues to push all the way down. So what's the expectation right here on the monthly? Is to see price continue to move all the way down to take out these lows, right? So we want to see price taking out the lows and continue the overall bearish of the flow. Then, okay, we want to understand what's going on within that monthly range. We drop down to the weekly time frame, right? So we can see that we had a break right here, then price came back, mitigated, then a break of structure, price came back to the extremity of that supply zone, and now we're starting to see the push down. So what's the intention on the weekly? Is to see price continue to push all the way down to take out this weekly previous low, lastly to take out the monthly low. So that's it. Daily is done. We go to the daily, the weekly is done. We go to the daily. So daily, I can use daily / 4 hour, right? So let me go to 4 hour, for example. So here I am on the 4 hour time frame. We can see we had, everything is bearish up to this point, right? So we have a break, mitigation, second break, price comes back into this whole zone and even gave us right now this 4-hour internal 4-hour change of character to the downside, right? So this is a break and price comes into this extremity right here, this extreme supply zone, and we can see this V-shaped recovery right there, which is it's a significant reaction at that supply zone. So it already says something about the supply zone. So once price comes to my 4-hour, you guys already know 4 hours as an intraday trader, that's my hard time frame. I want to drop down to medium time frame. So let me go to M15 right now. So here we are on the M15. Right? So reading the structure, we can see that, okay, we had this structure high, this structure low. So price broke structure right here. Then it came back to do the mitigation with this wick before it pushed up. I think this was like news. I believe this was NFP. Yeah, that was NFP. So basically, guys, NFP pushed price into that extreme supply zone, and now we're seeing the reaction. So this was the low right here, and before price made that high. Now we're seeing the price gave us this change of character. Now, for me, this is not a very strong confirmation for me, right? Because I can consider this to be that extreme low that price came to, right? This could have been used as inducement, so price just tapped into this demand zone, and we may see price continue to push up. So what I'm gonna wait on the medium time frame, which is M15, I'm gonna wait to see if price eventually will end up breaking structure to give me that M15 change of character. Then I'll mark the POI, and that's when I will work with the lower time frame. So up to this point, guys, there is no reason to rush the lower time frame. Take your time. Let the price show you the cards. So wait for M15 to show you the cards before you jump on the lower time frame, right? So that's it for New Zealand dollar. Let's go to the next pair. So we got gold. Gold has been, on an incredible bullish run, right? Gold just hit an all-time high this week. It was just on a non-stop bulls, right? But the crazy thing is, I don't know if you guys have I know a lot of you guys have been watching my market outlook series since 2022, and I remember breaking down these zones right here while price was still somewhere here, and I remember marking this zone. I remember also mark this zone, and to see price actually tapping and then pushing up. And I remember, if you go back to, for example, to the daily time frame, I remember I think it was in 2023, we was looking at this demand zone right here, and price came and started to push up. So for all those people that ended up buying gold, they're just having a field day, right? So gold right now, I don't have much to break down on gold today, because we have this break of structure. We can see clearly, we can see that gold is bullish right now. The day is just on a non-stop bulls. We just had this nice break of structure, mitigation, and then we have a break of structure right here. So we have an incredible bullish order flow intact right now. Now the demand zones, I'm looking at this zone because we have so much, so loads of imbalances below. So eventually, I believe gold will start to have a pullback, maybe towards these zones, and then we have the continuation to the upside. Now, daily is absolutely bullish like this. What do I need to do for the weeks ahead, right, on gold? Maybe this is the question for a lot of people that trade gold. For me, eventually, once price keeps pushing up, eventually it will start to it needs to pull back, right? So for me, I will drop down, for example, to 4-hour time frame. So looking at the 4-hour, what I'm going to wait at first, or let me use the 1 hour. At first, I'm gonna wait for a structure shift to the downside that will tell me that daily is ready to have a pullback all the way down to clear those imbalances below. So I'm marking this structure low, for example, right? So we have this structure high, this low, before price made all that push to the upside. So what I'm waiting to see is, I would like to see price coming down and breaking this structure. Once I have this break on the 1 hour, that's when I'm gonna be bearish, and I'll have that confirmation that, okay, daily is probably ready to have a pullback all the way down. So once I have this break of structure right here, that's when I'm gonna start working with the lower time frame. So up to this point, I'm not gonna do anything on gold. I'm gonna remain patient to see price breaking the hourly structure to the downside, so then I can start selling, right? So that's it for gold. Let's go to the last pair. So our last pair today is going to be GJ, which is a pair I usually don't do much breakdown on. I mean, I usually trade this pair. It's a very good pair. I really like GJ. But today I'm gonna break down. I actually saw some people that wanted me to break down GJ. So I mean, if we look at GJ, for example, I think anyone can see that we have this break of structure, mitigation, second break, mitigation, and then break of structure to the upside. So GJ is absolutely bullish up to this point. So daily structure, everything is bullish. If you ask me where a point of interest, we have a lot of them right here. I mean, we have this extreme one right here that has loads of imbalances. You know, this is the daily like major demand zone. But let me go to 4 hour as an intraday trader, right? So I come to 4 hour time frame, and what I'm seeing is that, okay, we have this break, mitigation, second break, price comes into this extreme demand zone right here that had imbalances below, and now what I'm expecting to see is GJ to continue the move to the upside, right? That's the intention that I have on GJ. Now, once price comes to my 4 hour, you guys already know what am I looking for? Medium time frame. I need that medium time frame shift. So price comes to my high time frame demand zone. I want to see medium time frame change of character to the upside, right? So I go to M15 right now, and we can see that we had a nice change of character. It's very easy to do this because you can just look at the structure low, then say structure high, and then this structure low right here, and then we had the break of structure right here to the upside, right? So this was a change of character, and price just came into this demand zone. So I remember I sent this on yesterday, which was Friday. I sent an outlook on the previous, on the public Telegram group on GJ, and price actually wasn't. I think price was somewhere here, so we can see that we had a very good reaction at that zone right here. So this is the medium time frame. We can see price actually ended up coming somewhere into this demand zone, and now we're seeing price continue that move to the upside. So on GJ right now I'm looking for buys, right? Because the 4 hour is bullish, M15 just gave us a change of character to the upside, so that means the lower time frame I'm supposed to be bullish. So once the market opens, I'm gonna be looking for buys, unless price ends up violating the M15 structure or ends up invalidating this bullish intention, and then we have the structure shift. That's only when we're gonna turn to sells. Okay, so guys, I hope I made the point clear with this breakdown. I wish you guys an incredible great week, and guys, don't forget, if you guys like the video, smash the like button for your partner right here. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Share this video if you want, if you can, right? Do me that favor. And if you guys are interested in joining the mentorship, feel free. My content is on the description box below. I mean, it's very good stuff right there. I also have the NEA service that I'm doing, but I'll talk about it, in much detail later. So guys, have a great week. Peace.